What's the worst injury Charlotte ever had?
That I can think of, she had two. One when she was at primary school, and we were just getting out of the car, and it was a really, really windy day, and she managed to put her thumb in between the door and the frame. The door slammed straight onto her finger. We were then up to A&E with her screaming, and then she had to have a needle put into the thumb to drain something out of it. I'm not sure, it must have been the blood or something out of it. But that was a bad one. And the second one, which does come to mind, she was quite young at the time, I think about 9, and she'd had her ears pierced, which was fine. She was quite happy with that. Until one day she said to me, I think there's something wrong with my ear, and I looked and all the skin had actually grown over the earring. So we had to go up to A&E and actually get them to try and get the earring out, but they obviously gave her a local anaesthetic. But those two come to mind as being some of the worst, I think, when she was small.
Did Charlotte ever cry in sad movies?
Yeah, we both did. I think, is it the Notebook or The Notebook? We bawled, and then we saw Brooklyn. Brooklyn was one of the last films that we ever saw together, and we wept at the end of that. Yeah, she was very, very emotional watching films.
Did she ever spend lots of money on something really stupid?
Yeah, she did that continually, I have to say. One of the things which comes to mind, which I was so angry with her when she actually bought it, we'd gone to Portsmouth to the outlet shop, and she bought this tiny, tiny pencil case about that big, and you could fit maybe 2 pencils in it. And she came out of the shop quite pleased with herself. And so I said, how much was that, expecting her to say, you know, £5 or whatever. And she's just said, it's designer. I said, yeah, but how much was it? And eventually she said, £50. So I said, you are absolutely joking, £50. I was not happy. And she said, I'm telling you, it's designer. So I said, well, it may well be, but I haven't heard of the design. Anyway, after she passed, we did have a lot of her stuff, and we didn't know. We had to sell it on eBay and whatever else. And that £50 pencil case somebody bought for 105. So she was absolutely right. She did know. She knew her design stuff.
Did she ever drop a brand new phone?
Yes, she did. Yep, and we've got a ceramic floor at home, so it was just sitting on the corner, and then it slid off, and that was it. And she was in tears over that, so we had to get all the screen fixed, etc.
Had she read Harry Potter, Twilight or Hunger Games, and if she did, which one was her favourite?
No, she never read any of those. She was not a keen reader, shall we say. She liked fashion and makeup magazines, but books, no, very rarely read anything like that.
If Charlotte could have eaten lunch with one famous person, who would she have chosen?
Probably two. It would have been Louis Vuitton or Audrey Hepburn, because Audrey was her absolute idol for fashion.
If she could go anywhere on a holiday, where would she have gone?
New York. That was where she really, really wanted to go. But unfortunately, as she became more ill, there was no way that we could travel because we couldn't get the insurance. So the furthest that she was allowed to get to was Paris, mainly because we were told that if they needed to get her back quickly from Paris, they could do that because it's not far. But New York would have been where she wanted to go.
How would Charlotte have rated her fashion sense on a scale of 1 to 10?
10. Yeah, she had really good fashion sense, and I think she could, you know, she could wear clothes, so she knew what she was buying.
Did she prefer chicken or beef?
Chicken. She was never a beef person. Not even, occasionally liked hamburgers, but chicken was really what she liked.
What were some of her bad habits?
Worst habit was biting her nails. That she was really, really bad at biting her nails. I think that was probably the worst one, nail biting. Could never get out of the habit.
What was the hardest thing for her to learn?
Hardest thing to her to learn, I think that when she was so young, the hardest thing to learn was accepting the condition that she had in cancer. I think that was very hard and very brave.
What was Charlotte's favourite ice cream flavour?
That definitely has to be chocolate, and she really liked Magnums as well, with the white chocolate.
What was the last thing she ever bought?
The last thing that she ever bought, this is quite sad actually, when in the January 2016 when she was terminally diagnosed, she was desperate. Her friend had got one of those instant cameras, and she sent away for it, and she got it, and she couldn't even click it because was already paralysed down one side. So that was one of the very last things that she bought, and the very last thing that she bought was a tiny Louis Vuitton purse, because she just got a new handbag in the December, and unfortunately I had to return that in the end to Louis Vuitton because we had so many bits and pieces, but that was the last things really that she bought.
Did she prefer fizzy drink or juice?
She absolutely hated juice. Coca-Cola, she was keen. She was quite a Coke drinker, and Fanta I think she liked, but not orange juices or anything like that.
Who was the last person she ate dinner with?
That was us actually. The last meal that she had would have been with her family. That was the last time, and that was when we went out to the Tiger Inn at Eastdean. That was in January 2016, that would have been her last one.